Hi, my name's Kathy. I'm a master gardener in Hamilton County, and I'm also a librarian at the Hamilton East Public Library. So I'm here today to talk to you about starting seeds inside in the winter. Our seed library will be opening on the 1st of March, and you'll be able to pick up seeds then, and you might have some seeds that are left from last year. So this is something that I like to do to start my own vegetables because it's very economical to do, and it's fun to see things growing inside earlier in the year. Now, each seed packet that you might want to start, whether you get it from the library or you purchase something on your own, will have information that tells you when that seed needs to be started if you're going to start it next indoors. Now, I've got a tomato here, a Williams striped tomato that I picked up at the Hamilton County Seed Exchange a few weeks ago. And it says that you need to start it 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost. And the last frost here in Hamilton County is on average around April 25th, which means you're going to want to start these right near the end of February, or when the seed library opens, you'll be able to pick them up then and start them at the beginning of March, and that will be fine. So what I do is I purchased this, I don't know, maybe at, any store will have these. It has a tray, and this one also has a capillary mat, which helps hold the water at the bottom. It has all these individual seed starting trays, and you can reuse all of this. So once you purchase it once, you can use it again. It also has a dome on top that will hold the moisture in when their things are sprouting. And the thing that's very important is for you to have some of this, which they refer to as soilless soil. So it's not really dirt, it's soilless soil. I don't know, I think it's peat moss, that sort of thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your peat moss and you're going to put it into the trays. Now, it's actually too cold right now for me to actually, too early in the season for me to actually plant these. So I'm just going to kind of show you how you do it. So you fill these up. I might have gotten a little bit too much in some of those. You can see what a mess I'm making here. And then you're going to water them because you do want to have them watered. Now, another way to do this, I could have put this into a bowl and let it kind of get nice and wet before I go to planting it, and kind of let it soak in there a little bit. But you're going to put that in there. You're going to take whatever your seed is and you're going to read what it says. Does it need to be a 1/4 inch deep or a 1/2 inch deep? And what kind of seeds am I starting in February or in the beginning of March inside? Well, things like tomato plants, pepper plants. We have some other things like eggplants this year in the seed library that you might want to start earlier indoors. So read the backs of them and you'll know that that's what needs to happen. So I'm going to take the seeds, and they're very tiny, and I'm going to put 1 or 2, and these need to be just about a 1/4 inch below the surface, and I'll put them in there. I guess actually I am going to start these now, but I put those in there, and then I'm going to water them again, and then they're going to be ready to grow. So once it's nice and watered, I'm going to put the lid back on, and this is to keep the moisture in there. Now, this is a tray of 72. I don't need 72 tomato plants, and I don't need to start them all at the same day. I could look at what the peppers and the tomatoes and the eggplants and the various other things that I want to start. I could look at how long before the frost they need to start. I could start part of them, and then as the other ones are starting, I could, put some cling wrap over the top. Maybe these are already growing and now I'm going to plant these. So since I can't put this on, then I'll just put some cling wrap over these until they start growing. It helps to have, for the first few days while you're waiting for them to start sprouting, to put them somewhere warm. So that could be maybe on top of your refrigerator, because the top of that's always a little warm. Once they have started sprouting, then you're going to take the lid off, and you're going to, once they're all growing, you're going to put it somewhere where you have a light. Now, we have a shop light from our garage. It's a 30-year-old thing, but we buy the Grow Light light bulbs. So at this time of year, we put those light bulbs in here, and then I put it underneath here. Now, I usually stack it up on some bricks. Whatever you have will work. And as the plants start to grow, you're going to want to keep moving this higher because you want to keep the light near the top of the seeds so that they don't have to reach and grow all leggy to get them. Another thing that we do is I put a fan, once the seedlings are growing, I put a fan on those and it stresses them, okay, so that they have to really grow strong in order to deal with that breeze. And you'll find you'll have better results if you put the fan on them. Now maybe you don't have this sort of light. You can put it in a south-facing windows. You might not get as much light as you would doing this. Your plants might not get as big, but it will still work. And again, putting the fan on it so that they're stressed is actually a good thing. All right, so now let's pretend we have beautiful plants growing here and it's getting to be that time of the last frost. We need to do a couple things. I forgot to mention that earlier. If it turns out that you got more than one plant growing in each one of these cells, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to just snip one of the plants off so you only have one growing per cell. You don't want to pull it out because if you pull it out, you're disturbing the roots. That's why we're going to cut it off. And then we need to harden these off. Your environment in the house is a lot different from the environment outside. So you're going to take this tray, you're going to go outside, you're going to put it in the shade for like 1 hour and then bring it indoors. And then the next day, you're going to take the tray, put it outside in the shade, maybe for a couple hours. And you'll kind of grow that up over the course of a week so that your plants are acclimated to the outside. Now when your seedlings get, bigger, where they've got like 3 or 4 sets of true leaves on them, you're going to want to transplant them out of these little containers into more like, a 3-inch size pot so that they can grow bigger. And then when the soil is warm, then you're going to put the tomato plants into the garden. Tomato plants are warm season plants. So if you on April 25th run outside and put all of those into the soil in the garden, they won't be happy with you. They'll actually do worse than if you just wait until more like the end of May to put them in the garden when the soil is nice and warm. Hopefully this is going to help you get your plants started indoors. If you have any questions, you can always write the Seed Library at hepl.lib.in.us and we'll reply to you. But until we hear from you, I hope you're having a great time. Happy gardening to you.